Welcome to MELfeed.video. We are commencing a live web stream service via youtube.com from Echuca, Australia. We currently conduct these streams on Monday evenings, with other times to be added as more opportunities arise. Please visit our website MELfeed.video for further information. This web video project presents old and new community TV programs. Please enjoy your stay with MELfeed.video.
Hello and welcome to NAT Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. Today our guest is Patrick Sibley, who's done his Masters in Bioethics, and we'll be talking about relationships and a lot more. Welcome to the program. Thanks for coming back again.
Thank you.
It's good to have you, Patrick. Now, can you tell us a little bit about relationships, like say either young teenagers looking for a partner or adults looking for the correct partner? What are some of the studies you've found in that area to make the correct decisions?
Okay, so building on what Patrick Langrel had to say about sort of the proper order of finding a lifelong relationship that's not going to fall to pieces, sort of getting to know, trusting, relying, and then committing, and then intimacy, sort of working in that right order. I think someone that put some good words on it recently that I heard speak was an American by the name of Jason Evett, and a married guy. I think he's about 30 years old, and he had a list of. He was saying, "You teenagers know what you're not. You know what you're supposed to not do. Sort of maybe from the advice of your parents, you think, oh no, I'm not. I know I'm not supposed to do that, and I know I can't do this, and I know I shouldn't do that." We're saying, well, what should you do? So if I've actually got it. I took a couple of notes at his talk.
Yeah.
Mirella. I think that was probably best if I go straight to what he had to say. And what he did say was he encouraged the teenagers to, he asked a question of them actually. He said, if I can't say no to sex, when I get to someone that I love, what is my yes going to mean? What is my yes to sex going to mean if I can't say no to sex anyway? Like it doesn't carry the power that it's meant to carry. That I give my whole self. There's nothing more I can give to you. Yeah. And he says, if you can't say no, what does that mean? And I thought, well, that's a pretty good question. He encouraged young people to enjoy being single. Stop looking on the other. Stop sort of looking over the fence and saying, "Oh, I wish I had this and I wish I had that." And it's just any psychologist I think would say the same thing. It's sort of like don't ruin your life by thinking everything. You need to have more of this and more of that, or it needs to be different all the time. Just really enjoy that time of being free and single. And so, what was your question again, Morel?
Happy where you are. Oh yeah. So, what sort of advice that you were saying about him that he gave for teenagers, or even just people starting out looking for a relationship that's actually going to last?
Okay, Jason Evett said this, but I first heard it from a man by the name of Anthony Messer, and he said he used the language of becoming the person, and I typed this down for myself. Becoming the person that you want someone to be attracted to. That's where the focus should be, not about how am I going to get this one and that one. But and the language he used, Anthony Messer, was, are you the person that the person you are looking for is looking for? Are they looking for you? And he told this funny story about this girl. She meets this guy and she thinks he's the best thing ever. He's got his act together, he's handsome, he's got a job, he's organised, he's got values that he's going to love whoever he's with, he's going to love her. And the mother turns to her daughter and she says, honey, that kind of guy is not looking for a girl like you. And she's very disappointed, of course. But it was the mother's way of saying, you got work to do, honey. He's not looking for you. You've got to start sort of putting things in order. Get ready. Make yourself into a woman that he's going to be attracted to. So that's the advice that's That's Anthony Mess's sort of advice for the words he put on what Jason Everett was saying. He's telling guys to stay well away from porn because it just fosters their tendency to go towards fantasy and imagine just unreal relationships, which is the quickest way to end any even possibilities. It's sort of like the reverse of a chick magnet, so to speak. It's like this guy's totally. It's a way to totally ruin your capacity for any kind of healthy relationship. And he said, he was encouraging. He was talking about the dynamic of a relationship where a girl might not know what's going on, and he was saying the guy needs to like make commitments, sort of. And he was saying to the girls like, define the relationship. Make sure you know what's going on. This is not, are we meeting at parties, or are we friends? Are we going out? Like, what's going? It shouldn't be any of that. What's happening here? Business. It should be like, yeah, we're going out for the next 3 months at least. We're getting to know each other, and I'm meeting his family. It needs to be defined. That was his advice. So there's not this what's happening, sort of, particularly from the girl's point of view.
Yeah.
And Jason Everett also talked about things need to be done face to face. Like this whole sort of internet relationship thing is a total disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Like you need to be in their space, asking them and telling them things face to face. Friends of mine tell a beautiful story. He was 16 and she was 16, and he sat down and it took him 2.5 hours to get out the words that "I love you," and she was very patient, obviously, Sujin and Priya. And Priya went home, told her dad that this guy sort of fancied her, and he says, "Too early. It's a bit too early, honey. You're only 16." But it was done face to face.
Yeah.
He sat down. Gave her the time, and this was in the days of internet and Facebook. So this was only 10 years ago. So he made the effort to sit down face to face, and they ended up married. It took 8 years, but. And I asked them recently, I said, how's the relationship now? And he said, we're still on our honeymoon.
Oh, wow.
And they've been married for 8 years. And I think that sounded like a pretty good relationship to me. The funny thing was, being Indians, the whole family went on their honeymoon.
All together?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he said, the best part of it is we're still on our honeymoon, 8 years into our marriage.
Amazing.
So face to face was Jason Everett's advice, to find the relationship. And he said guys need to make commitments and initiate. So the guy has a role to be bold. Don't expect the girl to like make herself so vulnerable. He was encouraging guys to step out, like be bold, risk looking like an idiot.
All right, we'll have to go to a break, but we'll continue on that. You're watching NAT Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly.
Behind every great athlete, there is a great support network. Australian Athletes with a Disability and Wheelchair Sports Australia help athletes realise their full potential.
Gonna go from 3. Yes!
No matter their ability, we're there to support them. Sporting opportunities for all abilities. For more information, visit sports.org.au.
I had the boys over for a barbecue the day before our final. Anyway, Steve rocks up, no beer, and he brought his model girlfriend. He was showing off, going on about how we kicked the winning goal in the semis, you know. I must have gotten a bit distracted, and I put his steak on the same plate the raw meat had been on. Anyway, we lost the final. Steve had to go off sick during the game. I mean, it's not my fault. I mean, who brings their girlfriend to a bloke's barbie anyway?
Behind your favourite team, there's another team. At all levels, in all codes, sports trainers are working to make sport safer. Sports trainers learn injury prevention techniques from doctors and other health professionals so they can provide the right first aid when the going gets tough. If your team could do with a sports trainer, maybe it's time you got a little closer to the action. Find out how you can become a sports trainer. Sports Medicine Australia, providing the team behind the team.
It's easy for things to go wrong around water. More so if you can't swim.
It's great seeing kids confident in the water and enjoying themselves. An important part of keeping kids safer around water is learning to swim.
There are over 600 registered swimming schools that run the Australian Unity Learn to Swim program. To find one, go to the Swim Australia website.
Hello and welcome back to NAT Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Patrick Sibley and he's done his Masters in Bioethics and we're talking about relationships. Welcome back to the program.
Thanks, Mirella.
Patrick. So tell us a little bit about, you studied a little bit about Robert Barron or something?
I was listening to a talk the other day by Robert Barron.
Talking about relationships, because before we went to break, you're talking about the men in relationships aren't able to commit, and then you just got up to the men, so you can get up to the women. So what was the women's part?
That was Jason Everett actually. Yeah. Jason Everett was talking about a guy's greatest fear, which is to commit, and he was encouraging these people at this talk, encouraging the young guys, school age and early university age, to initiate, be brave, stick your neck out, ask a girl out for goodness sake. He was really emphasising how the older generation would say. He told a story about a lady who got asked out 10 times in a month by guys at old-fashioned dances. They would say, "Do you want to go to the dance?" And he was just pointing out what a disastrous state our culture's in, where guys don't even ask girls out anymore. They don't initiate anything. They're just hoping to hook up. So it's just no commitment, no contact, no face-to-face, no getting to know each other, just cheap thrills with no future. And he was saying, if that's what you invest in, that's what you're going to get. And he was saying a woman's greatest fear is that she's not worth committing to. So those two going hand in hand. And
which is interesting, because a lot of the time when marriages fall apart, the guy that didn't want to commit in the first place and the woman that didn't feel that she was worthy of committing, maybe she's ended it for whatever reason.
Behind every great athlete, there is a great support network. Australian athletes with a disability.
And the guy falls apart when it does end. Although he didn't want to be committed in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how the dynamics change after years of marriage.
Yeah, that makes sense. You remind me of, where were we there? Just relationships.
Relationships when, say, the woman didn't want to commit, like you said before, and then the man didn't want to commit, and the woman was afraid she wasn't good enough to be committed to. Yeah. And then after years of marriage, when they break up, the man falls apart. He didn't want to commit in the first place. Yeah,
well, Jason Everett, I'll bring up another point there. He encouraged the teenagers to define the relationship, keep the relationships sort of not to tell any lies in the relationship, sort of with their bodies. Don't go saying, "I give you my entire self with your body," when you've really got no context of doing that. Don't let anyone tell you lies with their body. Yeah. To give you their whole self, which is a forever language. It's saying, to engage in that sexual act is to say, I give you myself forever. That's what that act means. It has a meaning. But to say that out of any other context than a lifelong commitment is a lie. And it reaps nasty consequences. And I'll just get back to what Anthony Messer had to say. Can you remind me in a sec about people thinking they've married the wrong person? I thought this was
that's right.
Yeah, it was very interesting what he had to say. The other thing that was a little bit sensitive, which is what Jason Everett had to say, was he encouraged couples, if they want lifelong love, to reject contraception. And the reason he gave his reasons, and I understand the reasons too that he didn't talk about to this younger audience, but he was saying if you engage, it's like what we talked about in the last interview, contraception can say to the other person, I love you, I love you, just except there's just a little bit of you that I don't want. And that's your capacity to bring forth life. I don't want your fertility. It's like, it's just a little bit much for me. And he's saying, John Paul II actually spoke about this, that's a way that can be received as a really deep felt rejection. There's, no matter what's happening on the surface, deep down it's like, hang on, he really doesn't love me. Or she really doesn't love me, because there's no, the whole element of we might create some new human being, the whole miracle thing, the greatest part of the excitement in sort of the sexual relationship, we could create a new human being. Jason Everett was arguing that when that aspect is not there, there's something is very wrong, and it's very destructive, and it breaks down the trust, and people start having the fear that they're being used. And contraception also messes with the whole chemistry of the woman's mind, and her body thinks it's pregnant when she's on contraception. And Dr. Nick Tontafilippini, the late Dr. Nick, told me that his argument was that if she appears to be pregnant, I mean, she appears to be available to the man, she can't get pregnant because she's on contraception, but he said the dynamic of her body thinking it's pregnant is that her interest in the sexual act is less. So she's more available, less interested, sort of messing with the whole chemistry of the guy's mind and causing problems that way. But back to the relationships, and Anthony Messer, he's actually a priest. He's a Coptic priest who's married, being a Coptic priest, and who's counselled thousands of couples. And he said, don't think that the perfect woman, you married the wrong woman. He said it's such a deceptive thought. He said, be happy with the 80%, the 85%. You're not going to marry a perfect woman. Like, it's a deception. And then she might get a little bit tired of you, and she stops laughing at your jokes, and she might not like the food you cook, or he doesn't like. And then you go to work, and he was painting this picture, and you go to the drinks fountain, and then Barbara from the other end of the office comes over to the drinks fountain, and everyone else has gone home, and she laughs at your jokes, and you're not used to that. And then
good old Babs.
Yeah, what was that?
Good old Babs.
Yeah, and she says something like, she says something, and then you agree with her. It's like, whoa, you haven't been used to that. You actually agree with this woman on something. It's like, oh. And he says, then you start telling yourself, it's like, oh, I married the wrong woman. Like, I meant to marry this girl. And he said, it's just so stupid because, he says, I don't know if this is true. I said this to a woman recently. She goes, I don't agree with that. He said, you can have chemistry with anybody. He says, you give me a whole room full of women, and I'm guarantee you I could find chemistry with every one of those women. And I said this to a female friend recently. She's, no, I don't think so. But he was saying, especially from the guy's point of view maybe, don't get caught up in the chemistry thing. Like, forget it. It's about commitment, decision, count your blessings. It's not about the cup being half full or half empty. So it's 3/4 full, for goodness sake. She's amazing. She's committed to you. She loves you. She's prepared to put up with your bad habits. Why would you think that there's some kind of chemistry missing?
We'll have to go to a break now, but we'll continue on that. You're watching NAT Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly.
If a man's home is his castle, his shed is his kingdom. It's a place men can hang out with a few mates, build a few things, even if you haven't before, and give back to the community. No man should be without a shed. The Australian Men's Shed Association is working to provide a shed for all Australian men, and they have over 400 already. Visit your local shed, build your community and make a difference. Find a shed near you. It's time to give back.
Northern Access Television will turn 30 in 2020. We are planning a celebration night with a book and a special TV show about our history. If you're a past member or a volunteer of NAT, we would love to hear from you. For more details, visit the website nat30years.info and find out how you can help celebrate 30 years of media for the community. The 30th anniversary of Northern Access Television. Let's celebrate in 2020.
Hello and welcome back to NAT Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Patrick Sibley, who's done his Masters in Bioethics, and we're discussing relationships and how to make them work. Welcome back to the program.
Thanks, Mirella.
So before the break, you were talking about some things about relationships. Can you continue with that?
Where were we? Father Anthony Messer, who counselled a lot of couples, was
That's right, yes.
delivering this talk to a bunch of young people wanting to find someone, and a few couples.
Chemistry, that was what we were talking about.
Yeah, and he was just he came across, I was watching the interview online, and he was coming across really frustrated because he's been dealing with this for so many years, and he was just trying to drill it into people to get over the chemistry thing, to not be deceived into wasting what is really a beautiful gift from God in the other person, thinking, I married the wrong person, or there's someone perfect out there, or all I need to find chemistry. Because it kind of plays into that whole culture of, I'll love you until love lasts kind of thing. Sort of the pretend wedding vows, sort of, I love you, but when our marriage fails, sort of like the prenuptial agreement, I love you, but when our marriage fails, I'll get this and you'll get that. It's sort of like, we need to have that faith in that love is
infinite. Yeah,
it's lifelong love. And not sort of marriage, when I die, for example, me and my wife are no longer married. We might say that, I think it was the words of Henri Nouwen, the French writer. He wrote a letter to his father. When his mother died, he wrote a letter to his father, which became a book called A Letter of Consolation. And Henri Nouwen writes about how true love really doesn't see limits in this life. It talks about, it has a forever mentality. And I notice that women are particularly strong with this concept. It's like, they don't care about sort of saying, look, when one of us dies, we're not married anymore. They're not talking about that. They're talking about what love is. It has an eternal vision that we'll always love each other, that this will last forever, that it's a very beautiful thing that has an eternity about it. Yeah. And sorry, I got a bit distracted there, but
anyway, you're saying like not just to go for the chemistry, and when the chemistry filters out, don't look for Barbara for the men not to look for Barbara, Barbara in the drinking fountain.
Yeah, just don't be
jokes.
Yeah, don't be robbed.
Yeah.
Just like, don't be robbed of what you've got, because it's all deception and it'll bring you down, and the chemistry with that woman's going to wear out too. So don't kid yourself.
Yeah.
So I found that pretty helpful.
Yeah.
To think, all right, it's about commitment, decision. And Jason Everett, when he was talking to those young folk a couple of weeks back, he was saying, commit, give, donate, like give. He was saying to the young guys there, like, your mentality needs to be commit, initiate, and give. Like, what can I give this woman?
And why do you think he's saying this to them and they're not actually asking women out, they're hooking up, as you said before? Why is that happening, do you think, now? Why aren't the guys doing it the old-fashioned way and asking for dates?
I guess I can only speak for myself when I feel like I should have taken initiative. Afraid of rejection, maybe. Fear. It's all about fear.
Then why was there less fear before?
Good question. I suppose it's a whole breakdown in our culture, where if you say anything goes and there's no real boundaries or there's no oughts or what you ought to do or what's good, or grandfather might sit down with their grandson and say, you know, it's good to do this, or grandmother might say, you should do this, or it might be good to do that. I think in a culture where you say, oh, anything goes, then why should a guy take any initiative? Why should he make any effort? Why should he think about giving anything to anybody? If it's all about me, if it's all about you, I remember some writer or speaker saying, if you go out looking to find yourself in the world, you're going to find yourself and be very disappointed. If that's all you're looking for, if all you're looking for is self, that's all you're going to find. And when you find yourself, you're going to be completely disappointed and totally disillusioned. And your life's not going to mean anything. And I thought, well, there's a summation of our culture today. And the other thing is, the beauty is you actually find yourself in the other person. When you love another person, you find out who you really are. Yeah, well, I'd have to, I understand that. Even just going with what the Jew Jesus, the prophet, priest, king, whatever you want to call him, had to say. It's in giving that you, in those Jewish scriptures, it's in giving that you receive. So sort of a reality check on where we find fulfillment, I suppose. And I imagine that the great masters of spirituality would agree. The great masters of spirituality in the other religious traditions. So how do you think it can change? Where guys can be a bit more courageous in asking girls out, and girls can be a bit more whatever they need to be? Yeah, I don't know. I suppose guys do need to be encouraged to take risks. Initiate. Risk being rejected. It's not the end of the world. And start again. If you miss out, you can start again. You can ask someone else out. If that one, then it wasn't meant to be. I guess if you ask a girl out and she didn't want to come, then that wasn't the one that was for you. Yeah. There's someone else better. I suppose it takes all the fantasy and imagination out of it if you just initiate and be upfront, face to face. But I think young people need to have that vision. Ask yourself, I would say to young people, what do you want? Do you want lifelong love? There's ways to get there, and it doesn't involve casual sex. It absolutely, under no circumstances, involves casual sex. If you try before you buy, if you have that mentality, particularly for girls, when the luster kind of wears off the paint job and the car doesn't drive like it used to, he's going to trade you in for another model. He's going to try another model, a new model. He doesn't want the old model. So if girls have let themselves be taken into that model of understanding relationships, try before you buy, get ready to be traded in. And for guys, the reality is they're not trying anything. All they're trying is what pleasure they can get out of an experience. Go to a nightclub, that's what you see. But you're not trying the way they're going to treat with respect. Can they handle finances? Can they handle what are they like under pressure? You're trying nothing. You're actually giving yourself wholesale. It's actually a buying. You've signed a blank check. So and you've got nothing for it. There's a sale, but no. All right. Well, sorry, we have to end the program now, but you'll have to come again another time. All right. Thanks so much for coming on the program, Patrick. All right. Thanks, Mirella, very much. You've been watching NAT Chat. I'm Mirella Rich, and our guest was Patrick Sibley. Hope you enjoyed the program. See you again soon.
Live streamed from Echuca each week, this is MELfeed Video, a different sort of TV.
Hello and welcome to NAT Chat. I'm Marilla Rich. Today our guest is Kamal Shamir, who is one of the directors of Heaven's Joy, a retreat place in Apollo Bay, which is a non-for-profit retreat place. Welcome to the program, Kamal.
Thanks, Marilla.
Can you tell us a little?
Meeting you.
Lovely to meet you and have you here. Tell us a little bit about this retreat place in called Heaven's Joy in Apollo Bay.
Heaven's Joy is a charitable organization.
Mm-hmm.
Actually formed in Lebanon by Father Majdi Alawi.
Yep.
He formed the charity,
mm-hmm.
and he started by serving the people from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He came to the stage that no one believed it and trusted that he can do it to show the love and helping the people.
Wow.
He sold his own home, the one he was living in,
Yeah.
and somebody donated a block of land. And he started from there
Mm-hmm.
to build up a small home and a tent to help people on drugs.
Ah, wow.
That's his start beginning of,
To help them get off drugs.
to get them out of drugs without a medication at all.
Wow.
No medication.
Without medication, that sounds great, yeah.
Yeah, he succeeded with a number of people.
Yeah,
So already now over 14 years on that.
right.
And he came few times to Australia.
Mm-hmm.
On his first time, he contacted me from Sydney. He said, I'm coming to Melbourne, if you can receive me on the airport, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll have a chat to visit someone here.
Yeah.
So I did meet him,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have seen that we are connected in somewhere.
Wow.
Then afterwards, we formed a company, the three of us here, directors. Yeah, Ziad Haddad and Rita Saliba, and together we form a charity. We call it Heaven's Joy.
Okay.
So the same name being given as Lebanon,
Yep.
same spiritual is just for helping people, whoever they are, open for everyone
Yep.
to take benefit of that.
Mm-hmm.
And we register our charity in Australia independently through the guidance spiritually from Father Majdi
Yep.
of Heaven's Joy or Bonheur du Ciel,
Mm-hmm.
or we call it in Arabic Sa'adat Sama.
Mm-hmm.
It's very well known in Lebanon.
Right.
Plus have branches in Canada, America, and Sweden too.
Wow.
Now starting also in Jordan, Egypt, and Syria, Iraq too,
Oh my goodness.
helping people on.
That's beautiful.
So anyway, here we register the charity as non-profit organization,
Mm-hmm.
then also as tax deductible.
Yeah.
So all the forms have been done, and we start working on helping people of, mainly it was on the beginning
Mm-hmm.
for people on cancer,
Yeah.
last stage,
Yeah.
where people never ever thought they have the cancer even on their life. So suddenly doctor check them up and find them on the last stage of also.
Gosh.
So they have matter of weeks or very limited couple months
Oh goodness.
of living,
Yeah.
and suddenly like the home collapse on them to feel it that
Their world collapse, yeah.
how would be suddenly their life changed upside down.
Yeah.
So we look after these kind of people
Yeah.
mainly, and get them to know what's the next life, what preparing for, what take advantage from now.
Mm.
Because if any one of us, let's say, have an appointment with the Queen, you imagine someone said to you, you have an appointment with the Queen next month or in 3 weeks' time.
Mm-hmm.
What do? You get ready, prepare your bag, you want to be the best way you can,
Mm.
you want to be feel relaxed, not to be stressed, and you're looking forward for that meeting to be happy. The best moment that, how come to be that so many people and you are awarded that to see the Queen. Even maybe for 5 minutes or 3 minutes, but you're looking forward to that moment. Person-wise, you want to see the Queen. So here, the kingdom of God, that one day we're going to meet. So we should be prepared and lucky that God told us, get ready. You want to go from this life. And that way means I have the chances of get ready, prepare myself, and whoever with me living as a family together or close friend, that we benefit this moment with each other, and we look forward that something here get related to, and there's a new life that someone close to me is going to look after me from somewhere else. So it's good to benefit from these moments and get ready for the next life, which we don't know.
Wow, yeah.
So only through the prophets, whoever advised us about it, and Jesus, whatever clearly words saying of next life. So we talk to those people to relieve them and get them ready to pass through. Doctor's doing his job. We don't use any kind of medication in between, just spiritual talking to the people. Wow. Get ready and benefit from every moment we are still alive on. Second, we look after people stressed. There is so many people stressed on the life.
Yeah.
So we look after them. People approach us. People feel to talk, would love to help.
Yeah.
If they don't feel it, of course, it's up to them.
Yeah.
Personal information remains secret of everyone, so whatever they wanted, and whenever they want to meet, in their private home, if they feel comfortable, and somewhere else, if they feel comfortable, depending on them.
Yeah. All right, we have to go to a break now, but we'll continue. You're watching NAT Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly.
If you choose to drink then drive,
you could ruin lives.
Someone else's,
your family's,
or your own.
Choose not to instead.
The right choice could save someone's life.
Proud supporters of safety in our community.
GMCU and Southern Cross Austereo.
Classifications let you know about the content of movies and computer games, so you can make informed choices. G tells you the content is suitable for general viewing and playing. PG means parental guidance is recommended, and the content may not be suitable for younger children. M says it's recommended for mature audiences over 15. MA 15 Plus indicates that legal restrictions apply, and the material is not suitable for those under 15. R18 Plus is restricted to 18 years and above. You can also find useful consumer advice next to the classification. Look out for these symbols on games, DVDs, advertising posters and movies. Please use these classifications to help you choose with confidence.
So, you think you're ready for this?
To take on the world? Why not?
If you were living on the streets, wouldn't you want more than just your best friend to keep you safe and warm? Donate to Backpack Bed for Homeless and give warm, waterproof protection and dignity tonight. Call 1300 OzHelp.
Hello and welcome back to NAT Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Kamal Shami, who's one of the directors of Heaven's Joy, which is a retreat place in Apollo Bay. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
Now, we were talking earlier about the retreat place, how you help people that are, you know, like at their last stage of cancer, and so the family can stay there and all be together. And then you've got also people who have other problems, like you were mentioning, stress, and even drug addicts, you know, come at different times.
Yeah.
Do they all come together, or do you have it?
Different
Yeah, because I suppose someone with cancer doesn't want to be around someone who's getting off drugs. It might be a bit
No, the retreat,
uncomfortable.
we have it just for the people with the cancer.
Yeah.
Let's say that stages of.
Right.
So the people on stress, and we just talk to them wherever they are.
Ah, okay.
And to leave them relief and relaxed, and how to live, how to take advantage of their life, how to handle their day-to-day problems,
Yeah.
avoiding. And the people of drugs
Yeah.
also never go there too.
Oh, good. Okay.
Because
I will
it's not
yeah.
place, let's
Wouldn't
say
be appropriate.
for them.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That people on drugs, we talk to them,
Yeah.
and we send them to a retreat that specializes on healing people on drugs, which we don't have it yet.
Oh, I see.
We're looking forward for that.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Oh, so you haven't got that here yet.
Not yet here.
Okay,
In
but-
Lebanon we have it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you'd like to start another retreat one just allocated to people on drugs. One allocated, this one's for people with cancer and serious illnesses, is it? And then stress, is there going to be another one for stressed people?
There will be another one for stressed people, but different locations altogether.
Oh, that's good.
Would be not related to each
That's
other.
right,
So
yeah.
because different kind of people. here
Exactly,
and there
exactly, and they're
to
dealing
take
with
advantage of.
different emotions would be coming up.
Let's say people on cancer, they need to relax, enjoy with the family and with the close friends.
Yeah.
We allow the whole family to go.
That's
People on
beautiful.
stress, they want to go, but also with a very close friend or family, depending on them what they prefer.
Yeah.
Also naturally,
Yeah.
a nice place where they can live comfortably,
Yeah.
spiritually, with the nature
Yeah.
of, the brightness of the nature,
Yeah.
the trees and the flowers and the water.
Yeah.
So they have to live peacefully and be back like you are reflecting
Yeah.
what I've done and what's alive and what's going to be tomorrow.
That's true. Even on the way here, we're driving down in the car, and my daughter was singing songs about how beautiful the world is, and it's like it's winter and cold. Just going, look at the bright sky with God, God's light. And just such beautiful singing. We're making songs on our little pretend radio, but it just, it does help to see the world in such a beautiful way. To see it bright.
If we don't have the winter, we never expect the summer later
Yeah,
on
that's
too.
right.
All connected to each other. And without rain, we
Yeah.
can't have anything green afterwards.
That's right. Yeah, we have to accept all the seasons.
Yeah.
So this retreat place, how did you become yourself one of the directors? How did you get involved in it?
It's not my decision, let's say, I could say it.
It was put upon you?
Because Father Majdi wanted to come to Melbourne on that time, our founder of the charity in Lebanon. So he contacted me.
Okay, that's
And
nice.
why too? Only God knows.
Yeah, because your
Why
background's engineering, isn't it?
I'm electrical engineer.
Electric
background.
engineer.
Yeah. And the other persons too, as the directors. So it was, in the beginning, they just want to do a fundraising event for Father Majdi to help him.
Ah, okay.
And they approached me because they know Kamal brought him here to Melbourne, taking care of him here and there.
Yeah,
So they asked me, I said, let's form a charity here too.
yeah.
And we started that way,
Oh,
three of us.
Yeah. And do you have much involvement with the people after you've seen them? Like, say, for example, you're seeing some families or someone who's stressed and you're visiting them in their home and trying to help them. Do you do follow-ups after maybe a month or something, or 2 months or so?
Yeah, we keep following up
Yeah,
for several visits. Yeah, we have in between.
yeah. And how do you see them progress?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay, so they're starting to get better, and there's usually a success story at the end.
When you think of why I have to think that way, why I have to direct myself on certain stages of life, keep thinking of this way. God provides me everything. I have everything on the life.
Yeah.
If I look for only the problem, but I have too many things too, which is good. So I have to look just for something bad and keep concentrating and forget everything good around me.
Yeah, yeah.
Why has to be only my own way?
Yeah.
Let's see. The others have rights too. They have to live probably in good way too.
Yeah.
So we have to accept each other.
Yeah. And learn to get along. What do you think the problem with stress is? What's the cause of stress, do you think, today? Because off camera we were talking, you were saying in Lebanon there's a war going on, but the stress is higher in Australia and there's no war going on. So that was very interesting, those statistics. Where did you get those statistics from?
You know, in Lebanon, I think people knows how to live and enjoy the life. I'm living today, so let's enjoy it. I might not be there tomorrow.
Okay, so they have that
so
attitude.
They have that attitude, they have it.
Yeah,
due to the war.
Live today the most, yeah.
And the life there is really difficult.
Yeah.
There is no social work to pay anyone.
Yeah.
If you didn't find a job.
Oh, wow.
There is no payment.
Yeah.
So you work, you can buy things, you can eat.
Gee.
If you don't do, you can survive.
Wow.
There. So people knows how to live, how to enjoy.
Yeah.
Even very hard to get a job. And the payment getting lower. Things go up, the prices sky high.
Yeah.
Because in Lebanon, let's say, as an example, you have 4 million people living as Lebanese, but we have over 6 million of refugees.
Wow.
From different countries.
How many people are living there in Lebanon?
More than 10 million. No?
10 million. And how many refugees?
6 almost.
6, and 4 million of the original.
Of Lebanese.
Wow, so you got more refugees than
you expect
originals.
How to get the job for them, how to find food.
Well, we have to go to a break now. We'll continue shortly. You're watching NAT Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly.
RSPCA, for all creatures, great and small.
The tax office can take money directly out of people's accounts, but you're not allowed to know. The elderly are being abused and neglected in nursing homes, but you're not allowed to know. The government can raid journalists for reporting the truth if it says you're not allowed to know. It couldn't happen in Australia. It's happening now. When the government hides the truth from you, what are they covering up? Authorised by Australia's Right to Know, Sydney.
Do you currently have a community service announcement on free-to-air television? If you do, you can now submit it to us as well via our website at MELfeed.video. We have lots of time to fill on these broadcasts, and we are sure to give your announcement a great run on MELfeed.video.
Hello and welcome back to NAT Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Kamal Shamir, who is one of the directors of Heaven's Joy, a retreat health place for people with cancer in Apollo Bay. Can you tell us, when you're working with people with stress, say for example at their houses, or if someone's watching now and they're going through a lot of stress, what sort of advice could you give them to kind of get rid of their stress?
Very simple.
Yes.
We should look back to our life, reflect on what we are doing, how we are connected to other people I'm living with. So why have to carry that much of stress? For what reason? Just reflect and relax. I have so many things good in front of me. I should look at that and to concentrate. The nature is very good. Go out. Don't stress between the walls. Get out of the home. Socialize. See the nature. The benefits, we have it, what being provided for us on this earth. So let us enjoy the life.
Right.
I'm living today, let me enjoy it.
Yeah. I've got the gift
So
of life, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And our charity, when we founded, so we put these targets in our life to helping wherever can be possible for a number of people.
Okay.
Without a limit, just give it. Because love is to give.
Yeah.
You imagine if two love each other, if from my lover, if I say true love, I'm not concentrating and looking what I get benefit.
Yeah.
It's to give.
To give, yeah.
When you give the love to whoever you share life with, means here the challenge between the two, who's going to give more? Without looking what I'm getting back.
Yeah, give without expecting, yeah.
Yeah, otherwise I'm not loving. Exactly like the mother do the same for the child.
Yeah.
She give, even her life she give for the child.
Yeah.
And you are a mother too.
Yes, I am.
So it's giving without limit.
That's right.
And you never ever expect something to get it back.
Yeah.
Just to give.
Yeah.
And that's the way we really can enjoy the life.
That's right.
And be happy in our life.
And you had a really beautiful marriage. You said that every day was, what were you saying off camera? We were talking about your marriage. You said it was such a beautiful marriage. What can you give some advice to people who are struggling with their marriages to have a beautiful marriage like you had?
Simply, we choose our partner on the life. So whether a man or a girl, they have the right to choose who's going to share the life together. But when we decided, it should be like open book. Everything would be clear. There's no secret being hidden from each other. So we must love each other without limit and be open to each other. There's nothing for me private or for you private.
Yeah.
We're going to share the life and become like an example, like lovebirds.
Yeah.
They love each other. You can see all the time they are singing and happy.
Yeah.
So that's really, it's good to share the life. And you feel, become like mirror to each other, the two couple.
Yeah.
So it's good to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And of course, in everywhere, in every family, sometimes you disagree on something. But that's not mean the end of the world. You disagree now, but don't go to bed until you're back to each other as loving each other and not hating each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's good to enjoy and not always one person what you needed, so the other person too.
And also you work with some of the priests in different churches. Can you tell us about what roles you play in the church? Before
we close subject of Happy Joy, I'd like to tell you something that suddenly I received a call from one lady. She was in hospital, hospitalized. And she said to me, when I go and met her, she had a stroke.
Yep.
And she approached us as she knows we have a charity called Happy Joy.
Yeah.
She said, I have a house and I'd like to donate the house and the block of land, 167 acre, she had a block of land.
Wow.
Donated to the charity.
Gee.
And when the hospital hear about it, they didn't believe it. They thought the lady is a bit of crazy.
Wow.
So they reported to government that the lady is giving away whatever she's having it, so she feel abnormal. So they took her to VCAT to put control on her. And later on, after too many doctors have checked her carefully, they find she's full control of what she's doing.
Yeah.
So medically, she's 100% right.
Yeah. Wow.
And she did the donation.
Gee.
And we are under processing of the document.
Gee, what a beautiful donation. So she obviously really wants to help people and leave something good in the world.
And she wants about Heaven's Joy, and she wants to do it for Heaven's Joy.
Gee. Oh, well, that's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, so something beyond our limit, why to be.
Well, it's a beautiful organisation because you're not even asking them to pay a certain amount. You're saying if you want, donate. I mean, that's a really charitable organisation to say that.
Yeah. So everything given to the people free. Some people donate online. So they keep every second week, some people once a month.
Yeah.
It depends on, some people send the checks to the address, so.
Oh, beautiful.
We have P.O. Box, so.
Okay. And just briefly, you do other work as well. You help the priests at different churches too, don't you?
Yeah, that's another way of helping
yeah,
too.
Another thing you do as well.
It's charitable work, so you do a lot of ways of helping.
Yeah, it's good.
With the churches too.
That's good. I'm sure they appreciate that.
Only God wants to appreciate it, so not worry about it.
All right then.
Here and there.
And so, was there any last words you want to leave the program with?
I love to see everyone happy from the life. Everyone is looking forward that I should enjoy. And if everyone look at the other person, let's say like we are chatting now.
Yeah.
If you are happy, you can reflect back to me too as happiness too.
Yeah.
And that's the way our life.
Yeah.
So why we are not living happy to each other?
Yeah.
So the love is not only the love between husband and wife or the mother and the kids or father and the kids.
Yeah.
It's to every person in the life.
That's
live
right.
happy to each other, enjoy each other. The life is good
Beautiful.
to live it and enjoy it.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on to the program, Kamal, with those wise words. You've been watching NAT Chat. I'm Mirella Rich and our guest was Kamal Shamir. See you again soon.
William Tyrrell was abducted from his nana's home on the New South Wales mid-north coast on the 12th of September 2014. And somebody knows who did it. Do you? There is a $1 million reward for information that leads police to William. That's 1 million reasons to make the call. Contact Crime Stoppers now. 1-800 333 000. Make the call.
Live streamed from Echuca each week, this is MELfeed Video, a different sort of TV.
Alleluia. Om Mani Padme. Om. Allah.
Welcome. You're watching Harmony and Diversity, and today we're speaking with Steve Kahn. He's an office bearer with the Australian Association of Pakistani Christians. Thanks for coming in, Steve.
Thank you very much, Norm, for asking me.
Now you're a Christian. Were you born a Christian?
Yes, I was born in a Christian family, although my grandparents were of some other religion and they converted into Christianity.
Okay, right. And how long were you in Pakistan for?
Well, I stayed in Pakistan for almost 20 years.
20 years. And then you came out to Australia via the Middle East, didn't you?
Yeah, I was working in the Gulf, and from there we went to England, and from then England, so we migrated to Australia.
And are there a lot of Pakistani Christians in Australia? What would be the...
Yeah, there are. Yeah, there are quite a few families. At least I know close to about 40, 45 families within Melbourne who are from Pakistan.
Right. And do you congregate at a particular church, or you just spread throughout the Christian community?
We do, but recently we have been blessed that we have been given a church by the Anglican Diocese in Kooyong, where we meet every third week of the month. It's a proper church building. We've been given. We really have been blessed, and we meet there every third week over there, and people come and worship over there.
Oh, good.
And we do services in our own language.
Okay.
Excellent. Yeah, in Urdu language, we sing songs in Urdu, and we do all over there.
Oh,
and people are really very sort of blessed because they can find the same atmosphere what they had behind.
Yes.
So the same thing over there, worshiping in their own language. So we really have been we're fortunate with that.
Yeah, that's a very powerful social community issue.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Use your own language.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, the Australian Association of Pakistani Christians, how did that arise?
Well, that came was in 2011. Our president, Dr. Barbara Peters, he was the one who initiated this, because there were so many sufferings of the Christians in Pakistan, and we wanted to highlight that, make the Australian government aware of all the sufferings and what's happening over there, and then find remedies to it as well. So that's how the association was formed.
And your interest in it, how come you joined it?
My interest came into it in March this year, when we had an instance in Lahore, Pakistan, when the whole colony, consisting of about 180 houses, were burnt down. Just on a small altercation between two boys, and that altercation turned into a blasphemy thing, saying that people have been talking against religion and all and everything. And then there was a big mob who congregated somewhere about, say, half an hour from that Joseph colony. They made all the plans over there. There was a mob of close to about 3,000 people. They walked from there all the way, so the police couldn't stop them. But what the police did was that they had the whole of the colony evacuated.
Yes.
They took everything, all the people living over there, they took away. And by the time those guys came, they took all furniture, every white goods, other things, all out, burnt houses, and then they were dancing around that and all the thing like that. So then we said, look, we have to do something about it. So then I met Dr. Peters, and then we discussed that what we do. So we had to create some sort of awareness amongst the people, and as we are living in Australia, so we had to start from here. So that's how I joined the association.
Right.
And then we had a peaceful demonstration on the 30th of May, highlighting the same issue, what happened over there. So that's how I came associated with the association.
Well, how big is the membership of the association?
Well, at the moment we haven't got a very big membership, but we should have close to about 40 or 50 families who are members.
It's a fair size. So this church that you have been fortunate enough to acquire, the families that go there, do the events in Pakistan against Christians, how does that affect the mood? Are there people within the congregation who are connected to Pakistan and so are disturbed and upset by what's happening there?
Oh yeah, look, people do feel very upset. But the unfortunate part over there is that not many people are that bold and outspoken to come out.
Okay.
Considering the fact that they still have got some family members there in Pakistan as well. So the repercussions might be on them over there if they do something as well. But otherwise, look, all people are very, at times they're even angry at what's happening over there. But the Christians being in such a small number over there in Pakistan with very little resources, so they can't do much over there.
No.
Although number means that there are, I think, close to about 3.5 or 4 million people in Pakistan who are Christians.
Right. It's
a
fair number.
Fair number of people, over there.
Yeah. So you say that the association's purpose is to raise these issues with the powers that be. You do demonstrations. What else? What are the other pathways that you use?
Well, recently what happened is there was another instance of a church bombing in Peshawar. So for that particular thing, we again did it was not a demonstration as such, but we did carry a public vigil. It was right in front of the Flinders Street station on the Princess Bridge. So just to highlight the fact that, look, and then everyone who was there, they burnt candles, and we held candles and all, and just to remember all the dead people over there who have been victims of this suicide bombing. So that was one thing we did for that. The other thing we did was that we did held a fundraising dinner recently on the 30th of November it was, where we tried to raise some funds in order to send it to the people over there. We've been particularly, because over there in Pakistan, the male member of the family is the only earning hand.
Yes.
And so to speak, he is, if he's not there, the whole of the family has to suffer.
Yes.
Because there's no social security, there's no Centrelink as we have over here, over there. So that's the only source of income. So many families over there in the Peshawar church bombing have lost their male or the main person who was the breadwinner for the family. So we have raised some funds, and we're trying to raise some more funds in order to do whatever we can from here. So maybe every drop in the ocean counts, as they say.
Yeah, that's the same with time. Seconds drop in and it becomes a minute. We've run out of time.
That's right, yep.
We'll be back in a moment.
Hush, little baby, don't you cry. Daddy's gonna sing you a lullaby. When you're sleeping safe and sound, you've got the proudest dad in town. I remember when I first saw you, your heart beating as you grew. We'll read you stories to help you dream. Your mommy and I are a perfect team. I can't wait to hear you sing or watch as you put on a wedding ring. One day you'll have children too. Remember the times I sang to you.
We've all seen this one time or another. We may even have done it ourselves. But inhaling balloon gas is very dangerous and can be fatal. The helium in balloon gas acts as an asphyxiant, and when you inhale, it displaces the oxygen in your lungs. Balloon gas is safe in balloons and when you release it in a well-ventilated area and in a safe manner. So the next time you see some sucker about to inhale balloon gas, or you think it's going to be a laugh, stop and be gas-wise.
Locals here made the shocking discovery this morning. Police have sealed off the entire beach.
There is a killer. One of the worst killers in Australia. Skin cancer. Every year, skin cancer kills over 1,700 Australians. Don't be a victim. This summer, protect yourself against skin cancer.
Hallelujah. Allah. Welcome
Welcome back. You're watching Harmony and Diversity. And we're speaking with Steve Khan. We're speaking with Steve Khan, And Steve's an office bearer of the Australian Association of Pakistani Christians. Steve, we were speaking about some of the attacks which have occurred against Christians in Pakistan.
Yeah.
They have an outcome which is more than just the physical violence and the damage of property. You were saying about the Joseph colony attack.
Yeah, definitely we do have, because our culture and the old traditions are still very prevalent over there. Now what happens over there is that particularly the mothers who got daughters, they over a period of time just kept saving some money in order to make a dowry for their daughters, because over there if you don't have any dowry, so your daughter can't be married. So these women, particularly from the Joseph colony, they had all their belongings burnt out. Each and every house out of the 180 houses were burnt, so nothing was left behind at all. And for them, life was very difficult. They said that, how could you marry our daughters? They'll be sitting over here for the rest of their life now, because nobody would take them without the dowry and all which we had built. So those were the problems over there. And then again, they were just on, I mean, there were people who were just doing menial jobs. They were not very rich or very affluent people. So they had the day-to-day earnings, which they had saved some money. Maybe some of them were just laborers, so they earn day-to-day wages. Sometimes when they don't get any wages, so maybe they can use whatever they've saved from there.
Yes.
But with all this loss, life really became very hard for them. And they're still asking for people for help, and from various sources. People have been helping them, there's no doubt, from overseas and from within Pakistan as well. But still, I mean, it's a hard life for them.
How did that event occur? What triggered it?
Well, what the story is that there were two boys who were friends. One was a Christian and one was a Muslim friend. So the Christian guy used to run a small shop, like where you come and play billiard and pool and all this sort of thing like that. And this fellow used to come over there, his friend. But then they had some altercation on I don't know what matter. And that altercation was turned into a blasphemy thing. That look, this guy had something about the religion or about the prophet. Then it was escalated and it went to the local mosque. Then the local mosque got involved in it, and they were sort of preaching from there, saying, oh look, this guy's done this and all that. And then it all eventually this thing, then they gathered, all the people got together, and although it was nothing to do with any religious or anything said of it, it was just an issue between two boys.
Yes.
But they just made it into such a big story.
Yes.
And the story also goes back over there that was a very prime land. And there were certain people who were involved in it, certain of the big shots. They wanted that place to be emptied. So they can go out and they can use that. It was on a very prime land, that particular colony.
Yes.
So they also helped those people to do this, not openly, but in some shape or form. Because after that, there was no police case registered, there was nothing, and nothing has happened so far. The culprits were never hounded down, or police even didn't sort of bother. The police were watching them when that burning was going on. They were there, see them. They were witnessing everything, but they didn't have the means to do it, or they didn't want to do it.
They didn't want to, one or other.
It could be both ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now you mentioned the blasphemy laws. That's notorious, of course. The Christians fall, many Christians fall under the blasphemy laws. There's much trouble for Christians.
Oh, look, if you just open the internet and Google it, you'll see hundreds of them. Now the blasphemy law has almost become a joke over there, for the reason that even if you got some personal animosity with someone, you just implicate him into some sort of a blasphemy. You just need two other people to say that yes, he did thing, and that's it. There's no investigation, there's no interrogation on that thing, there's nothing. He just sort of thought to be that yes, he said it. If these people have said it, he said it. Like there's so many cases you might have seen on young girls. They said that, look, they have taken the Holy Quran and they burned the pages and all. Yes. Now, how could somebody do that in that country when already that there's a hanging sword over the heads of people already? No one would dare say anything against the religion. No one would dare burn the Holy Quran like this. But these are just made up stories.
Yes.
People have got something against each other, they just come out with this thing and the thing like that. There are so many people rotting in jails who have been implicated in blasphemy things.
The blasphemy law. Yeah.
And the government is helpless. Helpless in the way that blasphemy law has become like a divine law.
Yes.
You cannot even talk about it, leave alone changing it or amending it.
Wasn't there a governor who was assassinated for saying he disagreed with the blasphemy law?
Yes, certainly he was. He was the governor of Punjab. Now, a governor of Punjab is a very powerful, influential person. He's not easily accessible. But he made such a statement. He said that the blasphemy laws need to be amended. And after 2 or 3 days, he was shot. One of his own security guys shot him. And people were so happy about him being shot. They said, look, he was a kafir or infidel who could make such a statement of changing the blasphemy law. So whatever has happened to him, it's good. And that person who killed him, he was a hero for them. And all the lawyers of the country came forward. He said, look, we will fight his case for free. We won't charge you any money because he's done something which is very, very pleasing to God. So it's that sort of a thing over there. It's a mindset over there that anything these people do or even talk about Islam is blasphemy now. So people are very scared even in the day-to-day conversation. Particularly, people, when kids and all go to school in the morning, the parents tell them, look, don't get involved in any argument, don't get involved in anything of the thing, because you never know that you're going to come back home or not even. So it's that sort of say that it's so vulnerable, people over there, of the minorities at the moment, that they're so scared.
It's rather insidious. And another insidious issue is the fact that the time creeps up, and you know it has. We'll be back in a moment.
There's a difference between forgetting something once and forgetting it many times. There's a difference between forgetfulness and dementia. Talk to someone who understands. Call the National Dementia Helpline on 1800 100 500.
I'm able to dream, I'm able to smile, I'm able to grow, and I'll go the extra mile, one day at a time. So put your hands together, we can change lives forever. Together we're able.
Able Australia. Together we're able.
Take it from me, one punch can be lethal. Thrown in anger like this, without warning, without any gloves, it can be deadly. One punch can end his life and ruin yours. It takes grunt to throw it, it takes guts to walk away.
Welcome back. You're watching Harmony and Diversity, and today we're speaking with Steve Khan, and Steve's an office bearer of the Australian Association of Pakistani Christians. Steve, in the past segment, we spoke about the Peshawar bombing in September of this year. What more do you know about that? That was a fairly serious event, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was a very serious event, because whoever had planned the bombing, they'd done it at a very appropriate moment according to them, because after the service, people all come out of the church and they talk to each other, they congregate and all. So they chose the right moment. So there were two guys who came, and then they blew themselves up and blew the other things as well. And there were so many people injured in that bombing. There's so many people killed. I was talking to a lady who just happens to be living next door to the church. Rather, the church fence is the wall of her backyard. And she was telling me that just about half an hour before this incident happened, she came to her backyard and she had put all her washings over there. She had washed and put all the things up there. He said after this blast which happened is, everything in her house, her furniture and everything was all upside down. All her glasses were broken. And she says when she came into the backyard, it was even horrible to see that all clothes which you put, they were all red with blood splattered over there, pieces of flesh lying everywhere over there. Somebody's head was lying over there as well, arms, hands, because it just happened to be next door.
Yes.
So he says, she of course fainted there and then when she saw all this thing and all. And the way she was explained to me graphic, it really felt to me that it was me who's been there as well. I mean, the way it was. And so many people, kids have been left orphans from this thing. Both their parents have died. So many girls and boys, young girls and boys, school-going, have been injured in this, because that day there happened to be some sort of function where all these young children were involved in it. They were having a party, a barbecue or some sort of thing like that, and there were lots of kids over there. So lots of children have been injured over there. We are trying to get one of the girls who was a victim over there. They already have amputated one of her legs.
Yes.
She's a 15, 16-year-old girl, and she was a very bright student of her school. And we had talked to doctors and all over here, and they said, look, we can save the other leg if you bring her here for treatment. So we are trying our best to sort of bring her out over here for treatment if we are successful. So, I mean, through the association, we are trying to do whatever is within our means, whatever possible we can do.
Yes.
So we are doing that as well,
Sounds like a very deserving case. And you've run dinners to raise money. Is that what you normally do? Run dinners?
Well, it's not normally what you do, but for this particular instance of the Peshawar bombing, as I said before, that they don't have any other means of income once the head of the family dies or a thing. So it's very difficult for them. So we, on the 30th of November, we hosted a fundraising dinner for them, and it went really very well. And we are thankful to all the people who were involved in that, particularly the Anglican Diocese in Melbourne. So they were very generous to give us a hall and help us in any way, whatever possible, to raise funds. And so we did that. It was not our normal thing, but just this instance we raised funds. And we're also trying to hold other events and functions as well, where we can generate some money for these people, if possible. Rather, now we would also have to generate some money for this girl who's coming over here, because her mother is coming as well as a carer. So we have to look after her as well, whatever time she's here for treatment.
That's very worthwhile. Now, one thing which seems to be missing in this whole story of Pakistan is a thing called forgiveness. Now, I believe that you have started a project called Forgiveness One. But tell us about that.
Right, I mean, this all came up, not so much keeping them in view, but also the people over here as well in Australia. There is a lot of migration from different parts of the world over here. But unfortunately, the harmony and all is not there. Maybe due to one particular race or one particular religion or whatever the thing. So then we got together, and I also had an initiative from somebody from Canberra to send me an email, and they said, look, could you work? I mean, they also heard of our association and what we are doing is. So they said, look, could you sort of work out something on these lines, which could create more harmony and resilience amongst the society in general. So then we came up with this concept of Forgive One. So what we are planning to do is, if it works that way, that once a year we're going to hold a particular day, the first week of March, the first Saturday in March, to be celebrated as a day of forgiveness.
Yeah.
So what we are asking people is, or rather urging people is, that on that particular day, you should forgive at least one person. It could be your wife, your sister, your mother, your brother, or whomever you got some anger with. So just forgive that one person, at least on the day. You can forgive as many people as you want, but at least one person, forgive them. That means that the person who is forgiven, that person would be happy, and the person who has forgiven, they will be happy as well. So that means that whole of the population of Victoria would be happy on the day. That look, I've been forgiven and that person has forgiven me. So that will create more sort of harmony and resilience. And also this message of forgiveness also goes to other people as well, who got certain animosity, religious animosity, not even here, even outside Australia. So we will try and give that message to them already. Already we are associated with a couple of other associations. This one is Universal Peace Federation. It's a UNO body. So they're also trying to work in harmony with us, particularly for this project. So as far as we can spread peace and harmony amongst the people, so I think that we would have achieved a lot if we can do this.
Yes, that's a wonderful objective. And of course, one of the things in there, one of the first people you could forgive is actually yourself in most cases.
That's very true. That's very true.
Steve, thank you very much for your time, and good luck with Forgive One, because it sounds like it's got a good essence to it. So let's hope you can succeed.
Thank you very much, Janam, for giving me this opportunity to share my ideas with you. And I'm sure other people who listen to this interview would also like this concept, and they can contact us through you or through your organization, and we will be more than willing to talk to them and share ideas with them as well.
Great, Steve.
Thank you once again.
You've been watching Harmony and Diversity. Join us again next week. Bye for now.
Baha'u'llah, Shanti Om, Allahu
For over 80 years, the Royal Flying Doctor Service has been providing a mantle of safety across our vast land. Last year alone, they attended to more than 250,000 patients and flew over 23 million kilometres. That's the equivalent of flying to the moon and back every fortnight. Whether it's an emergency rescue, delivery of urgent medical supplies, or an air ambulance transfer to a major city hospital, the Flying Doctor is always out there for everyone. Let's keep it that way. Donations to the Royal Flying Doctor Service can be made online, by cheque, or by calling the number on your screen now. All donations over $2 are tax deductible. So please give generously and help keep the doctor flying.
Here is some brilliant news for adults who have difficulties with spelling, reading a newspaper or phone bill, or writing letters and emails. It can be easier to improve your reading and writing skills than to keep putting it off. Take the plunge. Call the Reading Writing Hotline, 1300 655 06.
1300 655 06.
It could change your life.
Live streamed from Echuca each week, this is MELfeed Video, a different sort of TV.
The following program carries an MA classification and may contain adult themes and coarse language. MELfeed Video advises that it is suitable for viewers aged 15 plus.
Don't you mind people grinning in your face? Don't mind people grinning in your face. Oh yeah, just bear. Ooh, this is mine. True friend is hard to find. Don't you mind people grinning in your face? You know your mother should talk about you, your brother and your sister too. Don't care how you live. Oh, come on now. Let's start this shit again. When I clap, you clap. This is not a library. This is Fitzroy. Don't you mind people grinning in your face? Don't mind people grinning in your face. Oh yeah, just bear. Ooh, this is mine. True friend is hard to find. Don't you mind people grinning in your face? You know your brother, he'll talk about you, your mother and your sister too. Don't care how you live, and they'll talk about you still. Just bear, ooh, this is mine. A true friend is hard to find. Don't you mind people grinning in your face? Wish I could understand that gibberish coming out of your mouth, because the moonshine mystery hasn't given me the Rosetta Stone to decipher what you're saying. Stumbling up and down the steps, up and down the street, they tell me that you are a prophet, but I know you as nothing but the drunk poet who sits behind the lectern on your own front porch. Don't tell me that corn ain't got a history inside of it. They say they saw them coming before they ever landed, before Columbus ever got there. There were wide-nosed people breathing in the fresh air, and tobacco had no chemicals, didn't get hooked, but still seemed somehow to get high. Tell me you know about this language, as if Sanskrit were written on your back sacral dimples, and if you winked with your backbones touched to the sky, you could fly. There were no eagles and no necessary applications, and even falcons would make out their way for you. You had written your bones into the universe like cuneiform, and when the stars began to wink at night, you eclipsed even the moon, because the brightness of your smile gave birth to planets. You had your own gravitational pull, and no one would give you any excuses. You just had to breathe and be you. This was living scripture, when the word was the word, and the deed was word, and spirit was with the word, and no one ever took any moment to pause. Unless they drank too much, had a fight with so-and-so and touched who and such. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know the Kenny Lay lives 2 streets away down from you. And if diabetes was the truth, you would be an amputee. We made no apologies for those moments. Kicking capoeira at the midnight and singing jazz until the starlight came down, and we were Nina Simone's devotees. We loved those images, the river swimming with James Weldon Johnson's 7 gods and trombones. No one asked us where our home was, because the universe has no direction. We were an androgynous truth, and when they bled us, they said we were as beautiful as sweet before it was cut down. We were an emerald and peridot symphony that they begged to come back once a season. You won't even need to speak. Pop comes off wax, and you spread your soul like stacks couldn't stop you from singing Al Green after midnight. Even 80-year-old women love to hear For the Good Times. That's why your mama told you to get home early. You could be changed. Because some nights I knew Frank Sinatra was black. The voice of nothing but soul singing out to me. And I had 3 pennies to flick. And I knew this was true. Joe Williams swore that every day he got the blues, and I had the greens and blues with him. In fact, they nicknamed me Asul. I sang that song so much, it got out of touch with the neighborhood, and they had to hear Inspector Gadget on repeat just for 24 hours to get it out of their mind. I was funkadelic and Parliament pure, and there needed to be no double dissolution election, because I would stay the Prime Minister of cool. They almost call me refrigerator. But we had no air conditioning. Just the fans in the front row when people began to sing gospel, and you get really strong wrists when you're fanning for both hallelujah and too many funerals because someone drank too much in May again. Every prom season we had to sing Boys to Men in front of another coffin. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday, but it's even harder to say goodbye to a future that could have been had someone worn a seatbelt or had the time to listen past up one shot of white lightning. It's so far away. So many kilometers and miles, and I can't even calculate how many smiles have been broken by windshields so cracked they can't reflect stars anymore. But we still had the music, a warm glow of a coal inside of a body of metal, and if you pulled away the grill, you could see what life really was. Where the Beatles and Michael Jackson and Madonna had no color, where Prince could get down and love section like no other. We were devotees to Nina Simone. Our images had no stories. We just had the rhythm of dancing. They watched us moonwalk until Dawn gave us permission slips to enter classrooms to learn things that we already knew, but teacher wouldn't listen. We didn't fit their curriculum. Oh, silent assassin, stealing my soul. I didn't want to do quadratic equations. I just wanted to write poems, and I would kick it with Shakespeare at lunchtime. Tell him that I like that line. When I hung out with John Donne, I felt like my soul had been respun, and I could find the latch back to the labyrinth and escape the Minotaur. Everybody knew that I was addicted to words and strung them like junkies, waiting for that next hit. You give your hand to me, and then you share hello. I watch you walk away. Each time I held you so, and anyone can tell. You think you know me well, but you don't know me. Shh.
Juggling work and caring for Mum can be overwhelming. Having an understanding employer and access to support helps. I love my mum. I just wish I had some time to myself.
Hi, I'm Lane Beachley. Australians have recycled enough printer cartridges to cover Bondi Beach 12 times. That's kept 11,000 tonnes of valuable resources out of landfill. Drop your used original cartridges into the special boxes at participating retail outlets, and they'll be turned into new products from pens to road surfaces. Help us keep up the good work. Find out more at cartridges.planetark.org.
Hello. I'd like you to put your hand up to the screen and place it on mine. Now, if you drive when you've been taking drugs and you kill someone, this will be as close as you get to your family for a very long time.
It's always been my dream to represent Australia in the Olympics. Epilepsy affects nearly 250,000 Australians. Like me, most people have their seizures controlled with medication. Even today, people with epilepsy face incredible discrimination, but this prejudice is just another obstacle we can overcome. We're just as capable as anyone else, and often we have to be stronger. I promise I'll do my best for Australia. Will you do your best for me?
The thing I love about Australia is our spirit of mateship and togetherness, and whether it's a drought, a flood or a bushfire, when times are tough, Australians stick together. Well, I'll be spending Australia Day at Tamworth with 40,000 country music mates. It brings people together to celebrate our music and our great country.
Get together on Australia Day. Go to australiaday.org.au to find out how.
I know there's such a thing as phantom limb syndrome, when nerves that should be numb continue to feel and the pins and needles are sharp and real. I know there are such things as phantom limbs, but what about phantom family, friends and foes, those people who leave us but never let us go? Like the grandmother who's 2 years dead, but is still knitting tea cozies in your head, and often you can hear her call your name or just make out her crooked frame as she passes teacup in hand by your door with a creak of shuffling feet across lino floor. I know there are such things as phantom limbs, but what about phantom best friend? Like when you pretend she never got in the car and she's still close despite being so far. When you can't erase her face from cyberspace or her number from your phone. And though you can almost hear her breathing, you still find yourself alone. I know there are such things as phantom limbs, but what about phantom ex-lover? Like when you discover he's found another, but still swear you heard your phone ring, or felt the buzz of pocket vibration close to the skin, electric tingles sent by him. But no, nothing. Still, symptoms persist. Shopping, you see a shirt, a CD, a book, a DVD, a framed photograph of a man with his back against the city, and you just know. But it's her he takes gifts from, kisses from, kicks from under the covers in the fever of a hot Sydney summer night. And it's not the city he turned his back against. It's everything you ever... See that? God, it's so easy to get stuck on something that isn't there anymore, with nothing really to show that it ever was, except for your small scribble of shiny pink skin, and perchance a mere postcard, photo, locket or ring that echoes the dull thud in your empty space, a twitch, a throb, a pang or an ache. These are the arthritic memories of those lost limbs we can learn to live without.
Long time no see. Well, I have 3 minutes with you wonderful lot. The idea is not to hold you. Some contagious disease you got. Oops, I'm sorry, that's wrong. In fact, I'm normally nice. So let me start all over again. And this time, I'll think twice. Okay, that's better. Now what would you have me do? Hopefully you're impressed. I can count till 2. I can sew, cook and clean, be your nightmare or dream, play the drums but not the guitar. And if you can act but not look your age, we can go for happy hour. If you want to stay in, that's no sin. We can sit, grab a beer, watch cable. And if they're still showing that same stupid stuff, I'll bet to drink you under the table. Trust me for a mate. I'll listen, I'll relate, appreciate, and never defy. But if you commit any violence or crime, I won't be your alibi. Have to draw the line somewhere. Everything can't be allowed. And see, prisons only care. And the trappings there are the best for crying out loud. Isolated and protected in a system well directed, you're never left out in the cold. Mealtimes, entertainment, exercise, even do your degree. That's gold. Your worry of being raised by bad parents is erased. Smooth-edged keys for your locker. And I'll catch up for some comfort, since the world outside's just a shocker. Don't judge anything on looks. That's good, honest yap from books. I'll show you reality with all its calamity, and you'll comprehend in the end that whatever life throws at you each day, you are your only best friend. Now please tell me, do you agree that we're off to a fairly good start? Out here on parole, I'm just bearing my soul, so for God's sake, show some heart!
In the South Bronx, up on the highway-facing sides of condemned buildings, the city painted a mirage full of fake windows and pretty flowers so that the wealthy faces of rush hour could drive by, rest assured everything in the projects is just fine. Meanwhile, in the city where I live, they've officially labelled panhandling on street corners a crime because no one wants to walk by and see that shit. Meanwhile, in Manhattan, they've erected a shrine to the Twin Towers to remind us to mourn for the day the stock market died. Yes, I know there were lost lives, but you can't fill a bank account with souls. I remember being 5 years old, watching a feather fall from the sky and hoping that the bird that lost it could still fly. Remember when we were 9, we spent half our year on our backs, praying to the stars that would fall nowhere near our heads, because we knew we weren't the ones that needed them most. Remember when we said we carry icicles in our pockets and melt them during droughts? Yeah, we didn't know shit, but we had something figured out back then. When did we go wrong? When did we lose ourselves? The heart is a muscle. Without use, it will fail. We carried flutes in our windpipes. Now our souls are playing nothing but tap. Tonight I set free a kite to the wind and hope it reaches Palestine. It won't, but I'm trying to remember who I used to be. This country used the tsunami to its military advantage. 300,000 lives, and our tanks are dancing on the damage. Iraqi freedom is a bullet wound to the gut of a 2-month-old boy. Our rivers have been drowning since 1855. Our track record is skipping like apathies on repeat, and our eyes are full of pupils that have forgot the most important lesson. The heart is a muscle. If you use it, it will fly. Tomorrow, 600,000 feathers are going to fall from the sky. There's no way in hell we're going to catch them all. But someone tell me we're at least going to try. Thanks.
So how have things been going?
When a young person is diagnosed with cancer, it affects their family, their friends, their entire world. Red Kite supports young people with cancer and those around them in real ways.
Yeah, hi, it's Michael. Yeah, I'm at the hospital.
We rely on your generosity to make a positive difference in the lives of thousands of families every year. We can't always make things better, but with your help, we can lighten the load.
This season, we need your help to control Queensland fruit fly in our region. Your infested fruit is destroying your neighbour's harvest and the livelihood of our orchardists and their families. Pick up and dispose of fallen fruit. Infected fruit in your backyard is a breeding ground for fruit fly. Monitor fruit fly numbers by hanging traps in your fruit trees. Traps can be purchased at your local hardware stores. Net your fruit trees and susceptible vegetables with fruit fly specific netting. Contact us for information.
Would your life be different if you chose to swim between the flags instead of that unpatrolled beach? If you'd checked the depth before you dived into shallow water, if you didn't swim under the influence of alcohol and chose not to swim at night, if you only listened to the lifesavers warnings.
Make the right choice this summer.
Enjoy our beautiful beaches. Always swim between the red and yellow flags.
If we can't see you, we can't save you.
I've been working on some impersonations. Just in case these things cease to exist, I can give an impression of what they were like. They will live on through me. Here's a big old tree in an old-growth forest. Leaves rustling in the wind, and there are birds in the leaves. And here's a koala. And here's a blue whale. and here's a translation. Hello? Any other blue whales out there? Hello? Hello? Geez, life gets pretty lonely being a blue whale. And here's a lyrebird. They're very good imitators. They can even imitate people. Who's got the fly spray? Damn insects everywhere. Hey, where'd the path go? Can't see anything with all the grass, bushes and trees everywhere. No, anyway, that was meant to be a lyrebird imitating a chainsaw. And here's the Great Barrier Reef. I'm dying. I'm dying. Well, that's all the impersonations I have. Not quite comprehensive, but the best I could manage given my busy schedule. After all, time is money. Thank you.
I was an illiterate blacksmith from Adana, stumbling lonely pasture when Solomon sent me a seed letter. To the you that points to nowhere, read the shepherd. Open this in the wind. So born it all adventure, I set out from my workshop and I set out from my home to search the streets of this city and the next one and the next. I wandered the knotted neighborhoods of strangers, vivid with foreign fruit and criminals. Dogs stalked me through the painted night and the maps fell from the sky and mountain. I secreted down cargo highways hidden in trains, crisscross borders of indigo and ink, and every street of every city seemed to point to him, the black stone of my soul. I sang north, west, south. Solomon, I am your son. Solomon, I am your scribe. Solomon, my dear, sick with love, I am your bride. I beat on the door of the mosque my father used to sleep in, but the night watchman wouldn't answer. So I reopened the letter in fists of black wind, covered myself in stolen blankets, and returned to reach through the shadows of the tree under which I was born. Then the ascension through night dust, leaves and branches, and I thought I saw him on the late night train, blowing steam on the pitch glass. He sucked the copper from a clove, turned to face the snow and shadows, and as gold rises to the surface, the wooden bells of his throat yielded to the wind, and I saw that his eyes were naked as milk. So born at all adventure, I set out from the flowers of a vagabond's fire, and I set out from my home and I sing, Solomon, I am your son. Solomon, I am your scribe. Solomon, my dear, I am your bride. After some 100 years of separation and searching, I found him written over in the branches of the midnight sun. His fingertips, red fruit, my mouth, a handful of seeds. And even though I am blind and he is an illiterate, and even though he is blind and I am an illiterate blacksmith from Adana, we kiss in alphabets of clay and light and speak the dialect of the bird's migration from this existence to the next. For born at all adventure, I am the scribe of Solomon and he is my beloved. Each night, sick with love, we perform miracles. Loosening our limbs in the heat, we seduce the hidden inner grammar of steel. Decipher the journeys of ants, the idiom of thieves, the sting of sugar, and the length of the road beneath our feet. And as I beat tin, copper, gold, he dances to the sound of my hammer, to the quiddity of summer fruit. His heart beats like an ox. He shimmers bronze light, ember sweat slaked. The dust does not settle here, and he says, I am the longing of sugar to dissolve on the tongue of every language. I am the place where neither symmetry nor asymmetry exist. The point of departure where you arrive forever again. And I know the sweetness of the fruit from the tree under which you were born. And surely it tastes better than wine. And as I reach through his shadows and branches, I sing, Solomon, I am your son. Solomon, I am your scribe. Solomon, you are my beloved, and I am your bride. Thanks.
Now this next piece, it was composed by, I was playing around with those magnetic letters you stick on your fridge, and I came up with Team Bikey Now, and I decided to write a piece around it. Team Bikey Now, go Bikey 2, Team White, Team Bike 1, Team Yay, Team Go, lots go, cold grease get. Go Team Bikey Now to a buck seat, or Team Bike Hard Now, I'm a bike team. Go Team Bikey to a greasy garage and a cold hard greasy bike, a bikey team go. 2 teams my team, I'm a bike now, I'm a big buck bikey team, a bike again go. Me, my bikey, I'm a cold hard seat, I'm a bike seat, stuff, get stuff, greasy goo, I'm a cold bike, team buck, bikey buck now. Tim's bikey 2 bucks, go to Team Bike 2, a gang of bucks, family starts, warm greasy goo, hard bucks, greasy gang, big team bang, greasy big and hard stuff bucks, Team Bikey now.
To every child's development, an important message from the Australian Toy Association.
Multi-faith and interfaith is all part of harmony in diversity. Every Monday night at 9. Live streamed from Echuca each week, this is MELfeed.video, a different sort of TV.
Okay, we're at the Grand Russian Lounge for a premiere night tonight. It's the Versace Collection Model Search. So we're going to see that on 15 fabulous minutes. Come inside and join us. No, we're showing real Versace here tonight.
Oh, I like fake Versace.
Oh, you like fake Versace?
Well, it works better.
Are they fake breasts as well?
No, these are real, darling.
Oh, okay. So why do you like fake Versace?
Fake Versace likes me.
Oh, okay. A bit cheaper, huh? $10.
Yes, $5.
$5. Brilliant. You never know what you find here. Backstage with the models. I'm joined here with Lacey. You're a Vivian's model?
Yes, I am.
Oh, so you're a bit of a professional there.
I don't know about that.
Well, how long have you been modelling?
3 years.
3 years.
Yes.
How old are you now?
18.
18?
Yes.
Wow, well, you're getting a bit old now for modelling, yeah?
No.
So what made you come tonight?
Well, we had the first heat 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And this is the final, so...
So there's been a heat each weekend.
Yeah.
And what, you get chosen as a winner from that heat?
They picked a winner and 2 runners-up from each heat.
So you're here tonight at the grand final.
Yes.
So, because you're already a model, are the other girls like ready to scratch your eyes out or what?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
It's not bitchy?
No, it's not.
No? They're not going to sort of cut your dress up?
No.
No? So what are your chances of winning then?
I don't know. Same as everyone else.
Be positive. Are you going to win? Do you want to win?
I don't know. Of course
come on. We all want to win. And what are you wearing? You're wearing 2 outfits, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm wearing a blue dress and a black suit.
This whole process, and we're here at the grand final tonight.
Finally.
What is it all about?
Well, basically the search has been on for the model that embodies a classical charm but modern beauty.
So it's like a search for a supermodel, really. Okay.
Search for Miss Versace Classic.
Wow.
So
now you've had this 4 weeks.
Yes.
Every Saturday night.
Every Saturday
eliminating
night,
each model. Yep.
That's it. It's a cruel business, but that's the way it is.
Now you work for Versace, I hear.
I work for Versace Classic and the Russian Lounge. We quite often host fashion events here.
So the casino is where you find Versace, no?
Actually, based at the showroom in Clarendon Street.
Oh, there you go. Something I didn't know about. Now you're bringing over 2002 summer.
Yes, spring summer collection 2002, straight from Italy. We're actually Luciano Azzaro, head of Versace Classic, just got back from Milan today. So we're always right on the pulse of what's new.
So do we then skip a season because we're getting, we're in summer now, even though the clothes we're seeing today are going to be for next year?
Well, it's basically altered so that it's for the Australian spring summer 2002. So basically it would have been their 2001-2 as well.
It's all too confusing, isn't it? It's far too confusing. Now, what are we going to see tonight?
We've got a lot of suits. There's a lot of delicate fabrics, a lot of colour.
We've got a bit of a Romanian beauty here. Now, are you a professional model?
No, not at all.
No agency?
No, I've got an agency, but I don't really do it professionally. I'm just like a part-time student at the moment, so...
So what brings you here? How did you get involved in this then?
Yeah, my agency actually intended me to go, so...
Who are they?
Vivian's.
Vivian's as well. Oh, a couple of Vivian models here. Flogging them all off. So they're hoping to get you a bit of exposure then?
Yeah, I think it's more for experience as well, though, because...
So what do you model?
Why? I don't know.
Because I'm beautiful, she says.
No, I didn't say that. No, it's just that...
Well, you don't think you're beautiful?
No, I'm not saying that. I mean, like, if...
Right.
Don't get into that, all right?
Now, what's the price bracket of sort of something off Versace? Quite high?
Generally, basically start around, say, $600 for a dress, go up to about $3,000.
Well, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
And girls pay that kind of money. Absolutely.
We do if we've got it, or if our boyfriends have got it, or husbands.
Flaunt it. So high security. Absolutely high security. We don't want anyone walking out with any of these dresses tonight.
Armour guard around the back.
Now, once tonight we've had the final, what does the winner get? What do they
The
achieve?
winner will actually win 2 return tickets to Kuala Lumpur, Versace black dress,
Boy, everybody's got to have that little black dress.
and the She Cosmetics hamper.
Which consists of a whole bunch of She cosmetic glitter.
Cosmetics.
Yep.
Glittery girly stuff. It's fabulous.
So it's well worth it tonight.
It is, and they go on to model at Moonee Valley, the Moe and Shandon Versace parade next Thursday.
Wow, all going. That's a great price. Now, it's only for girls, so I can't compete.
If you'd like to try on one of the frocks.
Now, what brings you here tonight?
We're here for a birthday. Our friend George. 27th birthday.
27th birthday, and what a birthday to have because we've got the Versace show on.
Is it?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
What a bonus. You didn't know about it.
Can I model?
You can model. You get up on the catwalk.
Give me some clothes, I'm there.
No guys' clothes. They're all girls. You'll have to wear a dress.
That's all right. I can do that.
You don't mind that?
You
You
know.
can squeeze into a size 8.
Not really.
Yeah, we'll have a trouble with that one.
Okay. So are you.
Yeah, I'll suck it all in.
Now we have Amanda Sweetman from Giant Model Management.
Poor little toes down here a little bit. You waiting me to paint them or something, yeah?
They are painted.
They are painted. Oh, a real natural colour. You hurt your foot doing what?
I opened the door and whoever got caught underneath it.
You opened the door and your toe got caught underneath
Yeah, I was rushing.
to get here tonight.
I was late.
Were you practicing your walk?
No.
No. So you are you a professional model?
Yes.
Yes. From where?
Perth.
Perth. And what agency? I love. Look at this. So rude. Straight to the mobile.
Sorry.
Is that the boyfriend?
No, friend.
Friend. So you're a Perth model from what agency?
Spears.
Spears. So what brings you down to Melbourne then?
Change. Have you ever been to Perth?
Yes. Say no more.
Yeah. It's quiet.
So how long you been in Melbourne then?
4 months.
4 months. So you just started modelling in Melbourne, or?
Yeah, about a month and a half ago.
Okay. So how did you hear about tonight then?
Sarah and Sam are friends of mine and I know them. So Sarah gave me a call and said, would you do it?
So she normally has curly hair, straight hair. What's going on?
Very curly hair.
Expose it. You really got curly hair underneath. Okay, so is this really a bit hard for you today then?
No, I did it yesterday actually. Sarah came in and had Amanda, came in and had her hair coloured and straightened at work, yeah.
So is that the look tonight? Really straight? I noticed your hair is really straight as well. You've done your own before you've come here. Yours really curly. Exposing the models here. Now you are damn tall, I'm saying. You got no shoes on yet. Don't walk under the mirror ball, and I'll tell you why.
Really? Why?
You wouldn't want to be any taller than 6 feet because this thing, well, hey, you like my new hat? It'll hit you in the head.
I'm taller than you are.
Huh? You're taller than me. Well, how tall are you? You're like 6.
I'm 6 foot.
No.
Yeah.
And you're taller than me. I'm 6'1". You've got to be taller than 6. Yeah.
Maybe I am.
Yeah.
I haven't measured myself for a while.
So what brought you here tonight?
Why am I here tonight?
Yeah, why are you here?
Well,
like that. Like that. A glamorous flick. Do that again.
No.
Go on.
No, I was lucky enough to get through to the final.
Okay, so you're a model?
Part-time. I'm a university student. I go to
Another
uni.
one. Everybody, all tonight, I think most of the models, there you go, another glamorous flick.
No, it's
all
in
the
the
models
way.
tonight are from uni. What are you studying?
I do art at Monash, yeah.
So what do you do modelling then?
I've been doing it since I was 15,
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm from
What
the
agency?
country. Cosmopolitan.
Cosmo. Good agency?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Okay,
So are you enjoying it? You got much work, commercials, stuff like that?
Not as much, because I've just moved up to the city this year for uni, so I don't know. It's
So
getting
why do you
better.
model? What's in it for you?
It's fun.
It's
I
fun,
enjoy it.
yeah?
Yeah. I don't take it too seriously, but I really enjoy
You can't, can you?
No, you can't.
Tonight's sponsored also by She Australia. We've got Richard here busy working on the girls, and he's doing the eyes, and they're all very, very delicate eyes tonight, aren't they?
They are. They're very soft. The colour from She for the season is great. And look at our model here, Sarah. Her eyes are gorgeous. We've used nymph dust, a touch of fairy dust, and framed the eye in night eyeliner.
So it's quite layered.
Yeah, but it's still very feminine. It's a very soft look. It's very, I mean, it's that 70s retro thing. It's very girly. It's, yeah.
So you're concentrating on the eyes. I noticed you've also got little diamantes in the corners.
We have on a lot of girls. Don't they look great? They're She Australia's signature, and with the gems, they sit beautifully on the skin. We're using them asymmetrically with a touch of glitter. Actually, I'll just pop some on Sarah now.
Now we're going to pop a bit of glitter and a little bit of a diamante going in the corner. How do you feel being she'd out?
It's fabulous. It's so good to leave it to the professionals.
Absolutely. Now the good thing about She has actually got aromatherapy in a lot of their cosmetics and a lot of essential oils as well. And Australian owned. Oh, you've got the technique down pat. Look at that. Now it's a little bit of, is that like eyelash glue?
Yeah, it certainly is, because that means you can use them again and again.
Come with the handbag.
Yes.
So you've styled the girl tonight?
Yeah, but she wasn't going to wear the dress because I have to wear a Versace one.
So what agency are you here with tonight?
Vivian's.
Vivian's. Yeah. Now you got a bit of an accent, I noticed. Where is that coming from? California?
Yeah, San Diego.
Californian sunshine, oh yeah. Now you're pretty tall.
I've got the height.
That's the criteria to be a model, right? Yeah. So what are you wearing tonight?
I'm wearing a little suit outfit, jacket and skirt, as well as a pair of slacks with just an overcoat.
Did you choose it?
I did.
Oh, so that's kind of good then, yeah?
The end of the night, so I kind of got the...
Because what happens if you didn't like what you were wearing? You just have to do it, yeah? Because you are the clothes hanger, aren't you?
No matter what you have, you always have to work it. That's a professional.
We're here with Luciano. Now you're playing the big role tonight with the Versace.
No, I don't think so, but, well, in a way I am, but...
So what do you do?
I represent Versace in Australia and New Zealand, that's all.
So you're bringing it all over from overseas for us and our pleasure. Is that really hard to do?
Extremely difficult to do.
Why is that?
Why is that? Because sometimes you got to coordinate everything between supply and clients and all that. Yeah.
And does the season colour change in Australia as to what's going over to Europe, or is it the same?
We supply the same colour, the same style. There's no difference whatsoever.
No difference. And how do you find it taking off in Australia?
Sorry?
How do you find it taking off in Australia?
Actually, in Australia we find it's taking off very well because it's got plenty of colour. Yeah, it's a happy collection and all that.
And Melbourne Nights,
you can ask
really
our fashion coordinator here.
You're coordinating? Absolutely. Do you find Melbourne people are better dressed than, say, other areas in Australia, or?
Definitely compared to other areas in Australia, yeah.
Is that because we're a bit more multicultural down here? Absolutely.
Yeah.
A little bit about our sponsors. Lots of girls are coming out one last time. She Cosmetics is one of our sponsors tonight. We'd like to thank them for the prizes that they have for all the contestants tonight. She Cosmetics was created to express the amazing qualities of a woman, mysterious and alluring. She was looking Susan Markham, who's one of our judges tonight, was the first cutting
For Versace this evening,
Yes.
I'm wearing a gorgeous pale blue outfit. Not this one, but I am wearing another one.
So blue's your colour.
Blue's my colour. I think it brings out my eyes.
I noticed you got little diamantes on in the corner of your eyes there.
Yes. So well, they can't use the line. I'm seeing stars in your eyes, but
So modelling.
modelling.
You do it?
Yes, but just part-time.
Part-time. Well, why don't you do it full-time? Not enough work.
No, I'm a dance teacher, so that takes up most of my time.
How did you get involved? Did they know about it and said, you're the girl?
Yeah, well, they contacted me, and I said, all right, I'll go and check it out.
So what made you go, yeah, I'll do this?
Well, often I don't go for a lot of castings for big names like Versace and people like that. So I thought,
Pull card, yeah.
Now's a good opportunity. Otherwise, you have to go to Sydney usually for jobs like that.
So you've been in the other heats?
Yes, I was in last week.
And you made it?
Yeah, I was the winner last week.
That's exciting.
Oh.
I mean, is it a hard process? Obviously, you've got to go through, you've got to have a bit of a casting to get into the show as well. So you've already got chosen for that. Then you do your heat, and then you get chosen again for that. Now you're at this level.
Yes.
Can it be really, if you don't get it, how do you handle the rejection?
Well, I mean, everyone's got their own personal look, and you just take things as they come. This job may not be exactly perfect for you now, but the next one might be.
The modelling agency pays you to say that, don't they? That's the way. No, but really, honestly, that's probably one of the hardest things because every time you go for a casting, you get rejected. It eventually would get to your self-esteem, though, wouldn't it?
Well, luckily, not every time you're rejected, so that's what helps. Yeah.
So there's one or two that you get like tonight, you hold on to.
Yeah,
and you get to wear Versace.
You get to wear Versace.
She's from Creature Artist Management. Men, some applause, please.
Tell you, I've got the best life here.
Why is that?
It's gorgeous girls. Another one. Now, where are you from?
I'm from Preston.
Preston. And what agency?
With Creature.
Creature.
Management,
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I've only been with them for about 3-4 months now.
Okay, so you're only new at modelling, or?
No, I've been modelling for about 2.5 years.
Who with?
FRM, freelance, bit of freelance work.
So is it normal to change then?
No, some girls stay with a lot of agencies, I think, for maybe a year or two, or however, depending on the amount of work that you get as such.
So did Creature find you this gig then tonight?
Yes.
So you obviously done one of the other heats?
Yeah, last week here.
Last week,
Yeah.
so you made it through. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now tonight's the big night, the grand finale. Now, you going to win or what?
I don't know. There's a few. They're all gorgeous girls
It's
here.
tough.
So there's only I think there's 10 of us.
Who's
so
judging?
I wouldn't have a clue.
Okay, so you
I
don't know.
No.
Maybe it's me. Now, I've noticed, was it you who was sawing all the heels off the girls' shoes?
No.
Was that you?
No, not at all.
No, you weren't doing
No,
that?
no.
I'm getting to know the models really, really well. Don't I have the best job? I tell you, glamorous women. Now, where are you from?
Melbourne.
Melbourne, local girl.
Yeah.
From what agency?
With Cosmopolitan.
Cosmopolitan. And also, you've done the other heats during the week?
Yeah, I did it about 3 weeks ago.
Okay, and you won then?
Yeah,
So
on the heat.
now we're ready for the grand finale tonight. Are you getting excited?
I'm very excited.
You're hoping to get a dress out of this or what?
Possibly.
Possibly,
yeah.
So what makes you model? Apart from your impeccable looks?
Just meeting new people, just a bit of fun.
Is that all you do, just model or?
No, I'm at university as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
model with brains. Another one. This seems to be a trend. What are you studying?
PR.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're promoting tonight as well then?
No.
Now, how are you going to get all your friends out there? You're going to get all your friends out there to look at you, you know?
It's a bit of a worry when the girls are a little more enthusiastic than the men. Generally, when you're in a nightclub and alcohol's involved with beautiful women, I'm a little bit disappointed. That's it. That's it.
You guys are just here to check out the models, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. We're with the program, man.
You're with the program? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So which one you got your eye on?
All of them.
All of them. And you'll round them up too, won't you?
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is what we're getting here tonight. We're getting all the guys, all the girls. Lovely two ladies here. You've made an effort for tonight.
Yes, we have.
You're not doing the model thing?
No, we're not doing the model. We didn't know about the model thing.
Oh, okay. So you're just checking it out tonight?
Yeah.
Is this your regular little haunt, is it?
We've been here a few times, yeah.
Okay, and yourself, you're a regular?
No.
No, why not?
Just first time tonight, actually.
Oh, we got a virgin visitor here, and I love the hair. You've made an effort tonight. Not many people do that. It's natural. She made an effort by Born Beautiful. Well, enjoy the night. You might get yourself a Versace dress or something. Check it out.
That's good.
Now, Jane, look like you've been glittered left, right, and centre here on your face. Just look at that. Look at this little. You got the diamantes on. You got the shine. How great does it feel to be totally glamoured up for a night like tonight?
Oh, it's fantastic.
You don't have to do your own makeup. That's easy.
No, that's really good. Yeah.
That means you walk out of here with all the makeup on and you just go out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I can go clubbing and don't have to do anything.
So you're ready to go out tonight then? Afterwards, or you gonna have this as your big night?
Actually, yeah, we might go out. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. I'm not quite sure yet.
Now, where are you from? What agency?
Cosmopolitan.
Cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
You're a local girl as well.
Yes.
And which heat were you in?
I wasn't in a heat.
Oh, were you?
No.
How did you get in here?
I just was asked to come tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're just throwing you in. Oh, don't you feel ripped off? You had to go through all the heats of the elimination, and this one just walks in on the last day. Cosmopolitan, who's your booker? She's doing all right, yeah?
Deborah, she's doing very well.
Yeah, so bit of glamour. So what are you wearing tonight?
I'm wearing a lovely blue dress, low top. Yeah.
Do we get all the collection down in Australia that we see overseas or not?
Pretty much most of it, yeah.
So we don't get the leftovers, for instance. You know, most people know we miss out on the season. We see it in all the glamour magazines, and people want that, but we have that available down here.
Yeah.
No, you get the total collection here. The collection you see in Milano, Paris, London, New York is available here.
It's good to know that we're not behind then.
No, you're not.
And that's your fault. You're making us in front. Fantastic.
No, that's their fault.
Okay. We'll blame you for having been fashionable. How about that?
Thank you.
Fabulous. Have a great night.
Thank you
Enjoy
very
the
much.
show. Doing the hair. How many models?
10.
10.
So I believe.
All girls?
All girls. And the host.
And the host.
The lovely host.
So tonight, obviously, if everybody's wearing Versace, what sort of hairdo are you going to make for them? What's the style?
We liaise very closely with Milan and basically do what Milan says that's in for the season. Obviously, we adjusted to the Australian market, but...
So what are you dictating from Milan, and what are you putting in that's an Australian version?
A slightly looser version. Australians are slightly more casual people, so we
Not as well groomed.
Oh, absolutely as well groomed.
As well groomed.
Absolutely, but it's slightly more relaxed. It's looser hairs.
Okay, we'll have the girls come on and join us. Did you want to say something? Okay. Now, ladies, we'd like to thank at this point in time She Cosmetics for their wonderful gifts for all the girls, and of course Expose Hair for their fantastic work.
The winner is Leslie Tennant. Leslie Tennant.
Congratulations, Leslie. She Cosmetics. Lacey will be going on to Moonee Valley where she will model at the Lowy and Shandong Versace Classic Parade.
Oh, congratulations, you won!
Thank you.
Did you expect that? Because you were shocked. You were standing there going, whose name is that?
I couldn't understand.
Yeah, it was a bit hard. It's the accent.
Yeah.
Oh, how's it feel?
Very good.
You're going on holidays.
I know.
You're going to Kunalumpa. Who are you going to take?
Probably my mum.
Mum, I knew you were going to say that. Everybody takes their mum.
Yeah.
So when are you planning to go? When are you going to go?
I don't know. I don't know what happens. I'll have to find out.
You have to find out.
Yeah.
You're going to touch up on your tan and lay on a beach
I
and
know,
look good.
Excellent. It'll be
Fantastic. All that work paid off.
I know.
So where to from here, do you think?
I have no idea.
Have to
I didn't think this could happen in Toowoomba. And then I saw it on TV that night. It really opened my eyes.
Whenever the community comes to us and says we need your help, we do whatever we can to assist.
It is a great feeling to be able to help your neighbours, to be able to help your community.
Each Lions member and each Lions club in different parts of the country, we're totally different. But we have core values that are the same. They remain the same for any Lions member and any Lions club anywhere in not just Australia but around the world.
Anything that you can think of that you want to do and support and help, Lions are doing it right now somewhere in this world.
I think Lions need to tell their story. They need to let people know the amazing things that they do.
The three major streams that we have in Lions are the community service that we do for the public, health and medical research, and the disaster relief.
We're out there to help people. If you love helping people, get out and help them. Join a Lions Club.
We started this project about 20 years ago. All this gear would normally go to the tip. We recycle it and give it to someone less fortunate and where it is needed in the world.
Being a Lion here in Australia means that I can make a difference to my community. But most importantly, it's inspiring other people to get out and be part of their community and make it a safer and a much happier and better place to live.
Childhood cancer, I've always been interested in cancer and small children from the time I first got cancer 30 years ago. Research is an indefinite item. You can't see it, but it helps so much.
I'm here managing the money and the relationships, but other people are out there raising funds and bringing in community support. Without all of us working together, we can't affect change.
2 more extra hands at any function, any working bee, anything we do, 2 more hands can help us raise more funds, can help us serve our community better.
I went to my Lions Club and I said, I got this idea and I think it's a little bit crazy, but I think we could raise some serious money doing it. And it was to run 100 kilometres. And the club said, okay, if you want to do this, whatever you need us to do, we'll be there 100%. And I'm pretty proud to say that together we raised just over $16,000. So we blew the target out of the water, and I think that was due to a lot of the support that I got.
Through my leadership training and all that, I've learned about thinking global and acting local, and Lions Club is definitely that kind of thing. They act within their communities, but the money that they raise can often end up in any corner of the world.
As an individual, I could only do so much, and whilst it was my burning desire to try and help these people, having an organisation such as the Lions family to call upon to support me and those people that were working with me just made it possible for us to achieve so much more.
You know, after the devastation, to come back into the community, you know, you were shattered by what you saw. You know, no police station, no post office, no petrol station, you know, no kindergarten. There was nothing here.
And all that water with an unstoppable.
I don't know that I've ever seen as much
has arrived. There were fridges, washing machines, dryers. There were toasters, jugs, just everything.
To be invited to be a part of Lions just opened up a whole new world to me. A world that provided a structured organisation that could see that the hours that I volunteered could achieve so much more.
I think Lions is a wonderful organisation. The people in it have charity in their hearts.
I can go anywhere in this country, see somebody with a Lions badge, walk up to them and say, "Good day, you got a friend."
Never once in my life had I had a group of people where I could go to, say anything, and know that no matter what, they would be there, they would stand by me.
It's the family. That's what we call it's the Lions family. Without Lions, I think I'd be lost now because they've been my life.
We work hard, but the most important thing is we have fun.
The fellowship of all the members of the club, the broader community, it's just a tremendous organisation to belong to. You know, I'll be here till I die.
It is extremely rewarding and gratifying to be a part of an organisation that can spread its support so far and wide.
More members means more hands, means more support to the community.
I would encourage everyone just to give it a go and see if it is for them, because the return that you get for giving to others is amazing.
Get out there, do something wonderful, be part of this fantastic organisation.
Live streamed from Echuca each week, this is MELfeed.video, a different sort of TV. Live streamed from Echuca each week, MELfeed.video, a different sort of TV. Live streamed from Echuca each week, MELfeed Video, a different sort of TV.
They say there's a chance I could die in a car crash. Maybe even from heart disease. Maybe even skin cancer.
I could die in a work-related accident, or I could die in a fight.
The fact is, the biggest cause of death for men in my age group is suicide.
Please don't let this happen to me.
You can do something. Lifeline believes that suicide is mostly preventable. Help us save lives. Find out what you can do at lifeline.org.au.
MELfeed Video is about to close operations for tonight, but we'll be back with you next Monday evening. In the meantime, here is a selection of programs that will be seen on our next scheduled web stream. You're welcome to visit our website at MELfeed.video for further details of this project. Until next time, from all of us here at MELfeed Video, we wish you a very good night.